Stream help. Yay. Receiving your content. Your audience will see it in a moment. Get ready. You are live. The internet can totally see you now. Just stop user encoder. Okay, so apparently we're online right now. Okay, let's get everything out of the way here. And let's start.
Okay.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with Tristan. And we're setting up kind of a little newscast for you here on this somewhat special, somewhat evil day of American history, Election Day 2016. So we have quite a list of things to start with here, namely the election, since obviously we're on there yet. Now, we haven't gotten any results yet. We're only going off the latest polls and what Google has told us so far. So, let's start with Donald Trump and his policies that he started throughout his campaign. Immigration, quote unquote, restore integrity to our immigration system by prioritizing the interests of Americans first, enforce our immigration laws at the border and at the workplace, build a border wall and end sanctuary cities, send criminal aliens home, welcome those who embrace our way of life, but keep out immigrants and refugees who don't through rigorous vetting. I personally have quite a few problems with that. First off, the wall. And got my trusty piece of paper here. And in 2015, where Obama was left off by the Bushes and Clinton and Reagan, Obama was left off with $18 trillion of debt in 2015. So, you know, building a wall. I saw this one CNN video a while ago. It put together kind of a virtual wall to see, and the wall would cost about as much as the country is already in debt, practically doubling it. And then the other problem I have is like sending criminal aliens home. Some of them, yes, are druggists, rapists, etc. But then again, there are a lot of those good people in here who only want a better life. So you don't necessarily have to kick everyone out.
Yeah, like a lot of them, they're just here trying to make money, and then they're not even using it. They're sending it back to their families.
Yeah, and then quote unquote welcoming those who embrace our way of life. That just kind of sounds like, you know,
wasn't America basically based on like freedom of religious practices,
yeah,
or how you want to
freedom
live?
freedom of religious practices, freedom of speech, freedom of all that. So yeah, that would be a violation of the First Amendment. On to the next issue, abortion. The primary responsibility of the federal government is to protect the rights of its citizens. Life is the most fundamental right. The federal government should not diminish this right by denying its protection. I am opposed to abortion, except for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I oppose the use of government funds to pay for abortions. Okay, I can agree mostly with that, because, you know, just me being me, I feel no one should be getting an abortion in the first place, again, unless they were raped.
Yeah.
Because in that point, they would actually need it, because they have a baby that they weren't willing to have in the first place. So, okay, that lines up with me. That goes pretty good. Anything you want to say on it?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Guns, our next topic. Unwavering support of the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Get serious about prosecuting violent criminals. Get gang members and drug dealers off the street to make our cities and communities safer. Empower law-abiding gun owners to defend themselves. Expand mental health programs to keep the violent and mentally ill off our streets. That's actually pretty good with what I hear, because it's kind of a game of cat and mouse and leapfrog at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like one person goes on a killing, then the mentally ill see that as a challenge and they try to, oust them.
Yeah, they're gonna
in
try to
some way.
one up them.
So they try to oust them in some way, and then, it's like leapfrog and
It's
playing
like,
a game of cat and mouse at the same time. People are trying to overpower each other while doing
yeah,
this.
it's like, ooh, you killed 50 people. I'm gonna kill 100.
Yeah, it's
And
exactly,
it's just gonna keep going.
and it's a challenge. So yeah, okay, that lines up with me quite a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, keeping the mentally ill free treatment, that'll also help in many other aspects of life, and not only gun control.
I mean, I think yes, keep the guns for the law-abiding citizens. I mean, you Hillary's trying to take the guns in one of the most violent times in our country. It's like, how do you expect people to defend themselves?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, next one up. Foreign policy. Foreign policy will be singularly focused on making America safe again by destroying radical Islamic terrorist groups, and the nuclear deal with Iran, and the ransom payments to the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism. America will stand with its allies and end the Obama-Clinton practice of apologizing to our enemies. Meh, that one doesn't fly by me too much. Because here's the thing: wars are fueled by a difference in opinion. That's kind of how we got into Iraq and ISIS and Al Qaeda in the first place. Because, well, of course there was 9/11, and that is a reason for disturbance.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
then I believe it was one of the Bushes. We sent them over to Iraq, Iran, something like that,
Yeah.
and believing we were bombing like an enemy terrorist facility, they actually bombed a baby food factory.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's like,
we kind of got into this fruitless war, the cause of which is long gone. And I see no reason to keep fighting. And again, by America's finances, I don't think we need any more debt from wars.
it's like, what was it? George Washington said, "Don't make too many allies, and don't worry about foreign issues if they don't relate to you." And it's like, that's like what America's doing right now. They're getting involved with all these foreign wars that they have no reason to be in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're kind of running on time here. Let's go over to Hillary Clinton and review the same things. Immigration for Hillary Clinton. We need a comprehensive immigration reform with a path to full and equal citizenship. If Congress won't act, I'll defend President Obama's executive actions, and I'll go even further to keep families together. I'll end family detention, close private immigration detention centers, and help more eligible people become naturalized. That one would line up with me quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because, again, as I mentioned with the Trump rigmarole, not all immigrants coming into our country are bad. Yes, there are some of them, but most of them are normal people.
Yeah.
People that have never committed crimes. People that won't, mess with us.
Yeah. I mean, people that have no intention of committing any crime.
Yeah, so
They just want, a better life.
signs up to me. Next topic, abortion. Politicians have no business interfering with a woman's personal health decisions. I will oppose efforts to roll back women's access to reproductive health care, including Republican efforts to defund Planned Parenthood. As president, I'll stand up for Planned Parenthood and women's access to critical health services, including safe, legal abortion. Trump was better on this topic.
Yeah.
Because, again, if you, as a woman, are dumb enough to get a baby that you don't want, then you should be paying the punishment of keeping it.
I mean, yeah, if you're having a child as a prime, you've chosen to do it, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, and plus, she says she would fund it. That funding's coming straight out of the U.S. government. It ain't coming out of her pocket. It ain't coming out of anyone's pocket, except for the United States. And
And
I'm going to reference this many more
reference
times.
back to the debt chart.
We're already in debt.
We do not have money for
$18
this.
trillion.
We don't have money for this.
Yeah.
Too much money spent.
Yeah, so, it should only be allowed under, like, under the rape conditions, just because, that one, they
that's
didn't
not
choose it.
really optional.
Okay, guns. More than 33,000 each year. It's time to act. As president, I'll take on the gun lobby and fight for common sense reforms to keep guns away from terrorists, domestic abusers, and other violent criminals, including comprehensive background checks and closing loopholes that allow guns to fall into the wrong hands. Spot on, Hillary. Spot on.
And it's perfect.
I love
But,
it. Cause then the people who actually need them, aka, people out in the country who actually need it for their self-defense.
Well, I mean, I've watched YouTubers that they've said the police fastest response time's like a half hour.
Yeah.
I mean, by the half hour, a burglar's already gone.
Yeah, so, in case of that life-threatening situation, yeah, that's good. But then again, it can get into the wrong hands, and that's where Hillary wants to take action. Taking it away from known, abusers and other violent criminals. And as you said, there are 33,000 Americans killed by guns each year. I mean, some of that you just can't prevent just because 55% of America already has some sort of, concealed or, gun on hand somehow. And Wikipedia's not a trustful source, right? He's trying to look up stuff off camera. And last topic for Clinton, foreign policy. As Secretary of State, I work to restore America's leadership in the world. As President, my top priority will be to keep us safe and defend our values. This includes maintaining a cutting-edge military, strengthening our alliances, being firm but wise with our rivals, cultivating new partners, defeating ISIS, and enforcing the Iran nuclear deal. Hold on, I have to do a quick Google search here.
It's pretty close to what Trump said.
Okay. I probably should have looked this up before we started, but anyway. The Iran, quote-unquote, the Iran nuclear deal, a simple guide. Negotiators researched a historic accord last summer to limit Tehran's nuclear ability in return for lifting international oil and financial sanctions. Okay, so it's basically more or less a limit on what guns and weapons of mass destruction people can have. So, the Iran nuclear deal, that would be nice, just keeping deadly biological weapons out of the wrong hands. Defeating ISIS, well, I have suspicions they're actually hiring them from China in some sort of way. Because, I'm going to be the suspicious one all the way through. So, I'm thinking, they're contracted with someone else, and even if we do manage to kill off a large majority of them,
There's
they
always going to be more.
Yeah, that would be replaced twofold over from somewhere else that are joining their cause. So I wouldn't necessarily defeat them rather than make peace with them. Just because defeating them, A, would sink the U.S. further into debt.
Back to the debt chart.
Yes. And also, it would kind of make us look bad for not defeating this. It kind of make us look weak. Because, people don't read the whole story on it.
Yeah. The cutting edge military part. We're building, for example, the F-22 Raptor. It's over-engineered. It's built to kill things that won't even be invented or thought up 10 years into the future. I mean, what? We're paying $138 million a jet? And, I mean, how many of those do you think we've built? Since 2009.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, debt chart.
Yep.
More debt.
More debt. Yeah, so, we're actually losing quite a bit of money from this.
I mean,
And,
we're building military technology we don't even need.
And as Hillary Clinton said, alliances are good, But then again,
You don't want to have too many. You want to have like
oh
your
yeah,
core group.
I've watched enough of those like TV competition shows where you make too much of an alliance and
Yeah, you realize,
you make or
you end up too deep.
like a better game like Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah.
If she were to form a big alliance, she would have taken charge just based on her personality.
Yeah.
And people below her would have seen her as a threat after a few days. And let's just say in the Hunger Games, you don't get a do-over.
Yeah.
So,
you screw up, you
yeah.
die.
It's good to have alliances, although A,
It's
don't ally with the wrong people, and B, you don't want to have too many, as
it's like
he suggested.
Allying with a bunch of Middle Eastern countries, Asian countries, like NATO. That should be it. Be like a member of NATO and done.
Okay. Yes, that works good enough. Okay. So, yeah. Just reading this, I would go with Clinton. She spot on nailed 3 of the 4 of them.
Yeah.
So that's good for me. Trump is still kind of spotty with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, he would work. Let's just say he's bad in my opinion for president, although he's not the worst. So let's just be let's just
be worse.
Yeah, let's just stick to that.
Richard Nixon.
Very subtle there. Okay, and just looking at the latest poll results, which are from
Today.
Earlier today, November 8th, 2016. Clinton has a lead with 46.8%, with Trump falling close behind at 43.6%. So I think it's going to be a close or tied race when this is all done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then just looking back, there's some of them. Yeah, Trump is beating Hillary, but only by 1%.
He was at 1 point winning.
Yeah. Oh, and then there were the points.
Oh, in fact, the start. Oh yeah.
Yeah, at the start. July 1st. Yeah.
Last year.
July 1st, 2015.
Clinton
had a 53.3%, with Trump at 33.7.
Being in
so
19.6.
So yeah, just at the start of the race, this was really really open.
And now,
and moving on,
it's been getting a lot closer.
September 10th, 2015.
It's almost down to 1.
Yeah. Clinton was at 45.2, Trump at 44.0. And ever since then, it's been kind of like it's been kind of like a roller coaster with them battling for each other. And only at one point, July 27th, 2016.
I think over here was a lead.
See this one?
Barely. Yeah. By 0.2.
Yeah, by 0.2%, Trump was beating Hillary on May 23rd.
Trump will consider anything a win.
And then on July 27th, 2016, Trump was at 45.7, Clinton at 44.6. So those were the only 2 times, 2 days consecutively, where Trump actually ousted Hillary Clinton. Then all the other times, it's been kind of a close race.
Yeah.
It's been closer than
like mid-April, there was a big spike. Spike.
Well, but between March and April, and early May.
What did you do?
I did do. Yeah, but between March, April, and the first half of May, Clinton was actually leading by quite a substantial amount. At its peak, around 12%. So yeah, this is going to be a really close race.
Definitely.
If not tied and demanding a recount. And Trump, he said a few days ago that
if he doesn't win, he won't accept it.
Quote unquote, I will not accept the results unless I win. So it's kind of confuzzling, but since Donald Trump started this race, the whole thing has been confusing. Now,
Yeah.
everyone, for your latest gaming news, I'll hand it over to Tristan.
So, recent news from Rockstar, new adversary mode, and they're calling it Deadline. And it's bringing a new vehicle into the game. It's a new motorcycle called the Nagasaki Shitaro.
And it's
I think-
basically a recreation of
It-
Tron's light cycle. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then Nvidia has released their new graphics cards.
Going from the GTX 1080, the GTX 1070, and the 1060. And then AMD filing suit with the launch of Polaris 10 and the RX 480, 470, and 460.
So that we have quite a good range now. And let's just say for the GeForce GTX 1070, one of the ones listed above,
On
It had-
Amazon, it's about $400 right now. It's $393.95.
okay, and the specs of it has an excellent performance for its price, new features like SMP, and it's the second fastest GPU on the market. Although the negative is still relatively expensive.
Clearly by the $400 price tag.
Then the GeForce GTX 1080, kind of the same thing. Just like scrolling through them, they all have relatively the same, percentage.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good all there, and I would approve of it. And just to finish off today's episode, let's do a little bit of trivia. Okay. So your first trivia of the day. This one woman once got a prison sentence for around how long?
20 years?
It was actually rounding out to 141,000 years altogether.
What?
I know. She dabbled in Chinese affairs. So,
Chinese black market.
yep, totally.
Bad idea.
Next question. Kangaroos are closely related to what animal?
Monkeys?
It's actually pretty closely related to the sheep. Well, and just considering,
Sheep?
Australia is an isolated continent, so it's kind of separated from the rest of evolution happening throughout Eurasia,
Yeah.
Africa, and the Americas.
Yeah.
And the last one to finish off today's episode. MatPat from Game Theory proved Princess Peach from the Mario franchise is the mother of what character?
I know this is wrong, but Toad? Dang it.
Sorry, you got all of
three.
it wrong.
Okay, what was the answer?
Okay. Peach was actually proven to be the mother of Rosalina.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. I hope you liked watching this special election episode, or our first election episode of today's live newscast. And I think we should try to go for this next week. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in a future episode.
Yeah.
Until then, goodbye. Now I gotta shut this thing off.